I knew he was a fine player, but had no idea that he was going to be as good as he was.
As a point guard, looking at another point guard, he was a guy that was more or less average height, but you watched him shoot, you watched him handle the ball, and you thought, hey, this kid can play a little bit.
One of those guys that you may look at and think that he wasn't talented, but he did so many great things in regards to making his teammates better.
He can shoot the three-point shot. He's also got the ability to put the ball on the floor and finish at the basket.
81% from the field in the last 4 games.
It's really tough to put your finger on what it is, but he had it.
It was his ability to motivate and get other players in the program to play at a higher level because of his intensity and desires that he has. He was deranged about the game. He wanted to be a great player and made himself a great player.
He was a point guard in the truest sense of the word and looking to get other guys involved, and at the end of the day it was more about winning than actual stats.
Personal accolades really are very secondary when it comes to the overall picture and the team goals.
Every player he played with, he made better, and everyone knows that. But when he took off and when things started to turn, you just knew something was special.
Stoudemire, no, tipped out, Santa Clara wins.
Folks, you have just witnessed one of the most stunning upsets in the history of the NCAA basketball tournament. Cinderella has arrived.
How difficult is it to put this NBA talk, which you're starting your year now, it's your junior year, is it difficult to put that behind you and concentrate on your teammates and your own team?
Well, obviously I think about that because it is the main focus of my life, but at the same time, I love my teammates and I hope the best for our whole team as a whole, so it's not that hard to put it behind me, even though I will eventually think about that.
Suns need a 3, it's Nash going through, and we are tied up. Steve Nash.
We were all excited when he got drafted to know that someone that was part of our program was going to make it into the NBA.
He had a very high basketball IQ, but also his ability to play in the pick and roll. Today, the pick and roll game has become such an important part of the offense at the NBA level. And so Steve was one of the first ones to really master that.
I used to get on him all the time about, hey, make the two-handed pass. He sat me down and said years afterwards, Coach, it takes me 0.3 of a second less to make the one-handed pass than it does the two-handed pass, and it gives the player 0.3 of a second longer to shoot the shot. So he convinced me that I was wrong all along. I mean, he was so unique as a player.
People don't see all the hours and hours and hours of jump shots and coming off pick and rolls and late night shooting. So he is a guy that really, really worked. You have to look in between the lines. It's just not easy to get to the Hall of Fame. As a kid, when you looked at the Hall of Fame, it just seemed like something so far off in the distance that you couldn't even touch it. Now that a good friend is actually touching it, to be a part of it is truly, truly awesome.